Okay, so good evening, everybody. Very warm welcome to our last Mindset Shift training call. So excited to have you all on tonight. Super excited for the last training call. I hope you've enjoyed the series of really understanding what it takes and who you are to take you to where you want to go internally. Once you begin to love yourself and see yourself as being that person who has everything within them, the magic, it's all inside of you. You can be and do anything that you choose to be in this world. And that's really what these calls have been about, really empowering us as individuals to take that step of that leap of faith and believing we can be the person we choose to be. All right, so I'm just going to get started with a bit of a motivation video. I've got Jade to thank for this because it was on her team page this morning, and hoping Jade will join us soon. So here we go. Bear with me.
A belief is a feeling of absolute certainty. If you want to achieve anything in life, you need to get certain you will achieve it. You must believe in yourself. Beliefs control results because you will never take action towards something you don't believe is possible. You can have all the education in the world. It doesn't matter. If you don't believe you can do it, you will never get it.
Do you think Jordan could have become the greatest if he didn't believe in himself? Not a chance. He would have quit when things got hard. He would have quit when he was cut from his high school basketball team. You think Serena would be the greatest female tennis player in history without belief? Not a chance.
These great athletes, great entrepreneurs, great human beings are great because they believe in themselves. They believe when no one else does. They believe when they are down. They believe when they are at rock bottom. This is my dream, and I will succeed. Maybe not immediately, but absolutely and definitely. There is no doubt in my mind. This goal I have, this dream I have, I will get it. I will. I will. I will. Beliefs control your results because you will never take action towards something you don't believe is possible. In order to succeed, you must believe. In order to believe you're good enough, you must be good enough. If you're not there yet, get to work. Work! 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 Until you get to the place where you know you will make it. No doubt. No doubt. I will make it. I will get it. I will have it.
Work on your weaknesses until they become your strengths. Work on your flaws until they become your fire. Work on your problems until they become your power.
You have to believe that something great can happen. Even if there is no evidence, believe. Even if others say it is impossible, believe. Even when everything is going wrong, believe. Change your belief that you can't to the knowing that you can. Change the belief that there are limitations to the knowing there are none. Change the belief that there isn't a way and push yourself to find your own path, your own answers, your own way. You can't just go off logic. The greatest achievements in the world defy logic. They are born from belief. The greatest achievements did not come from someone who saw what was possible and didn't dare attempt better. The greatest achievements came from those who see what is possible, but still believe they can achieve something impossible.
Oh my God. Woo! Who is pumped? Oh, seriously, guys. Okay, so we were talking about on the Blaze this morning about what happens when we start to have that fear creep in, you know. And Simone was saying middle of the month, she starts to feel this block. She starts to have this kind of, anybody else get that? Yeah? How do you change that? How do you change that state? So Tony Robbins is all about shifting your state. It is so important to understand that that fear is a false evidence appearing real. It goes back to the field of illusions because you control what you're thinking every single moment of every single day and choose to, like, whatever that is for you. Now, for me, I'm going to tell you something in a minute in the training that I did a lot when I was going for something. But get up, play that song, blast a song out that gets you in a high state, you know, whatever that is. It's almost like you aikido that out because you're like, I am not willing to, you know, to take that on. This is where I'm going. This is who I am. And this is how it happens. Okay. You have to be that person, that horse that has those blinders if you are to achieve what you said you would achieve, because doubt will take you out, and it's there for a reason. It's showing up because are you bigger than your problems? Are you bigger than those beliefs? Is your belief the only thing that will show you you can have it all? Right? Yes. So you got to dig in, guys, like you've never done these things before. And you know what? Keep that internal faith so strong, because nothing on the outside world can change that belief in the inner world. Doesn't matter of what other people say, what other people think. It doesn't matter what's going on the outside. All that matters is the person you are on the inside, and your true destiny will happen because it's a law. It's not a man-made law. Remember, I'm teaching you about the laws of the universe. It is a law. No matter what you truly believe and conceive, you will achieve. Okay, Napoleon Hill said that. Okay, he studied books. You know, these incredible entrepreneurs. For 20 years, he spent his life to write that one book, Think and Grow Rich. And they all knew the law of belief. Okay, all of them created something from nothing. Electricity, you know, we've got people like Marconi. You know, he was actually locked up because sound waves, he believed, you know, now you can hear my voice. You can't see my words, but you can all hear me. You know, the Wright brothers, Orville, you know, and who's the other Wright brother? Flying. You know, there was all of these people at one time had a belief within them, and nothing was going to take that away from them. Nothing was going to stop them. The Winston Churchill, the Nelson Mandelas, Abraham Lincoln, the incredible heroes of our time stood firm to that inner belief. No matter what was happening on the outside, they chose to stay firm to their inner belief. You can have what you want. How badly do you want it? And are you willing to rise? Okay, that's the most important thing. So we've talked a lot about your inner world and understanding your inner voice and habits and why you think like you think and why you act like you act. So we always talk about what you want. And let me reassure you, when you perform your tasks, your activities, remember we say you can't control the outcome, but you can control your activity. When you've performed this to the very best of your ability and are thorough in your work and do it well, you will always bring out the best there is in you. And what happens is that outside world has to reflect the inner world. So otherwise expressed, the more capable you grow and the more efficient you become, you will be better. And thereby you grow in your superiority. Okay? So the law is that he who becomes better will attract the better and be given the greater things to do. So your greatness is what this business will show you. You are all here among like-minded individuals, men and women, who are raising the bar. We are creating high standards, not just in our ingredients, not just in our policy, not just in being who we are, showing up every day on our personal development, on our meditation, on our exercise, on our health. In every single part of us, we get to decide what it is we want to achieve, and then we go and get it, guys. Okay, so the principle is that when you become too large for your present place, you will begin to draw to yourself something larger. You can't attract the better until you first become larger. Okay, this is your blueprint. This is your subconscious. So we know you can't be wealthy unless you are wired for wealth. So when you are 100% wired, that's the moment you become it. There is no gap in between wishing and receiving. It has become one. You just are now wealthy. Okay, so the question is, who are we going to rehearse ourselves to be every morning? All right, so let's put it in the chat. Do you think it's possible, number one, to rehearse in the morning your greatest ideals? So whatever you guys want to be, you all have different goals, visions, dreams. Do you think that we can get up and control our day? And yes, I will post a link. Everybody, yes. Kim, you're wrong, my lovely. Okay, so everybody's getting yes. Great, guys. This is the start, okay, to what we are and to what we can become. So, all right. So do you remember I spoke about going region in one of the calls and how I knew what clothes I was wearing, what jewelry I was wearing. I knew the type of car. I envisaged the weather. I even predicted the weather. Do you remember I was talking about that where I was being stood? So how do we activate these circuits in our brains? Well, if you want something, okay, all of you right now, put in the chat, what is your dream? What is it? And we're doing business now. So let's talk about, is it to achieve a certain amount of money? Is it to promote? Is it to help somebody else promote? What is that for you? What does everybody want right now? The bonus, financial freedom, but what financial freedom, Amy? How much is financial freedom for you? Right, great, Kelly, £10,000 a month. Great. Okay. Okay, I want you to be really specific of what that goal is. 500,000, great. Okay, NVP, RVP, great. Now you're getting specific, okay? The more clearer you are, the crystal clearer you are, the more the universe can give you exactly what you want. But you don't know where it's coming from, but you've got to know what you want. That's your why. Have a why that makes you cry, hold a why up high. Okay, love this, great, guys. Don't be afraid. Okay, we've all been where you are at one time. All right, so how do we activate these circuits? I love it, guys. So how does this, you can have everything you've said you wanted to, you can have it. But how do you achieve it? Okay, so we need to rehearse these ideals for ourselves. So we need to start activating circuits in our brain, because remember, your conscious mind is the decision maker, but your subconscious doesn't know if it's real or not real. And do you remember what's the percentage of the subconscious that rules the conscious mind? Do you remember how much? It was a high percentage, 95%. Thank you, Angela. So if you're activating these circuits, they'll start to become the platform of who you are. Because remember, the outside world then has to match the inner world. Okay, if you want to be wealthy, you start to have to feel wealthy internally, have a wealth mentality. So we have a picture in our mind and focus on it intently, regardless of what is happening in the outside world around us. Doesn't matter what people say, doesn't matter what they think, that's them. That is not you, okay? We only observe the picture. Now you have to start getting obsessed, okay? One focus point. That's what you think about, and you do not stop, and you wake up and you imagine it's already happened, okay? So I'm just going to share something with you. So this was a presentation I did years ago, and I wanted to earn it was an incentive trip to New York, okay? They flew you over, they gave you $1,000 to spend in New York, in Tiffany's in New York. You had a whole weekend. We went to a restaurant next to where the film Devil Wears Prada was filmed. Really expensive. I was the only UK consultant to earn this out of all the UK consultants back then, okay? So it's the only UK, it was a real honor. What I did, I imagined how I saw it in my mind, but I also had a dream, great Ellie, felt how it would feel. Every morning I went to my run and I played the song, and I'm going to show you a bit of my presentation, and this is what I saw in my mind, and I felt the feeling of how incredible it would be. So I'm just going to share something with you here.
It's way different than you ever heard before. Those famous as a place overseas. I can make it down your these streets don't make you feel better. Here in New York, New York. On the avenue, there ain't never a curfew. Ladies work so hard. Such a melting pot on the corner, settle and front preachers pray to God. Yeah, my gypsy cat takes me down from Harlem to the Brooklyn.
Alrighty. Now that was me, okay? That's what I was doing. I had a song. It was the man opening Tiffany's with the bowler hat, right? That's what I saw. And he was opening it and I was walking in and I had the jacket. It was winter, it was going to be cold. And there was somebody stood there with a champagne and we actually had a private room. They took us upstairs and they gave us it was just a beautiful breakfast. We got breakfast in Tiffany's and oh my God, guys. But I was breathing it. I was living it. I became engulfed in that inner thing. And I achieved it twice, 2 years in a row. Okay. It was such a big thing. And that's how I did it. And I worked my freaking ass off. Okay. But I believed it. So, alrighty. So, okay, so if you are not being defined by a vision of the future, then you are left with the old memories of the past and you will be predictable in your life. We are not here by chance, we are here by choice. We all started an Arbonne business to change our lives forever, whether that be the money, the travel, the friends, the lessons we are here to learn, the help we are to give other people. You have made a decision. So the quantum model of reality is about causing an effect. So the moment you start feeling abundant and worthy, you are generating wealth. The moment you are empowered and you feel it, you are beginning to strive towards your success. The moment you start feeling whole, your healing begins. And when you love yourself and you love all of life, you will create an equal. And now you are causing an effect. Okay, you're not cause and effect, you are causing an effect, guys. Okay, and that's the difference between living as a victim in your world and saying, I am this way because of this person, and saying anything that, an experience that somebody said, somebody did, somebody made me feel this way. I don't care, guys, okay? You switch that around because you are a creator, guys. You are your world. You choose your thoughts. You choose everything inside and you make it happen on the outside because it has to give it to you. It is the law of the universe. This is not a man-made law. Gravity, okay? You will never question that. And this is something you must never question, but truly understand. Even if you don't, take my word, start doing everything I'm telling you to do, and it will show up for you too. So, okay, changing the outcome in your life is so important. We're here to co-create. We are at the leading edge of thought. You guys have a mind. You have an ability to be the person you choose to be now and forever. Don't play small. Don't allow other people to put you down and tell you who they think you are. It is none of your business to care what they think you are. It is only your business to do the right thing by your heart and follow the meanderings of your mind and choose integrity and self-worth, self-honor, self-discipline, self-control. Mind your mind, guys, okay? So just think, whatever you have truly wanted to achieve, even as a kid, and you didn't understand it, you didn't necessarily know how this stuff works. I don't understand electricity, guys, but I sure enjoy it, okay? But you achieved it against all odds. So can you think of something, guys? Thank you, guys. Wonderful comments. Put something in the comment that you achieved as a kid that was against all odds. Like, you know, really, what could you have got as a kid that you wanted so badly, even when it felt like, you know, it didn't seem like you were going to get it, but you were like wanting it and you got it in the end. Anybody got a memory? Something that happened, something that you wanted against all odds? Festival champion. Yes, Jade. Winning Blue Peters, Sharon, I love it. Yes. Yes, 1,500 meter race. Come on. You broke the discus record. You learned to ride a bike. I swam my Mal badge, class present, all 5 Spice Girls dolls. Simone, bring it on. Passed my sociology, learning to swim, your house. Anyone had kids here? Yes, or not when you were kids. Yeah, you know. Won a swimming race. I love it. I wanted to be Cottontail in Blue Rabbit in a concert. I got to be a county tennis player. I love it. When given 4 hours to live to survive, there we go. Went to university. Right. As we get older, and even now having children, you don't take that for granted. And where were those children before you brought them into the world? Where were they? They're here now, but where were they before? All right. I love this. Thank you everybody for sharing. Okay, so 3 minutes to go. Okay, so 3 principles here. All right, meeting Princess Diana. Lucy, oh my God. I've never even met the Queen, my ex-boss. You're luckier than me. All right, so principle number 1, guys, your imagination is the greatest gift that you have ever been given. Your imagination is yours to be able to do anything you want with. You can place any thought in there with the awareness of the I am. All right, Lucy, now you're showing off about meeting Princess Diana twice. So your imagination is the greatest gift that anyone has been given, and you can put anything in there, and no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what can and can't be in your imagination. Einstein said imagination is greater than knowledge. So number 2, the second thing you need to learn is to live from the end. So whatever you've placed in your imagination, so everybody talked what they wanted, the money and all of that, you have to act as if it already were your reality, independent of what anything or anyone else says. So you faith it till you make it, okay? You have to, that's what you have to do. You have to go from the end backwards. You act like it's already happened. You know, I'm walking like $1 million achievement earner. That's my next thing, $1 Million Club. That's who I am, okay? This is what you have to do. And the third thing of these principles is the principle of, I call it, assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must be able to feel it, because every time you feel something within your body, you give an instruction to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is the part of you where you do all your living. Remember, 95%. You want to redo your self-conscious mind and change that internal dialogue. So, are we pumped? Are you ready? Now, I have got 2 incredible trainers. This is our last mindset shift call. I have asked these 2 ladies because I promise you, they are both going to be national vice presidents. And you know me, I don't mark my words, I don't mess up. If I don't feel it, I'll never say it. I feel it. These 2 ladies will promote to nation this year. That's my promise. They are incredible. So the first lady I'm going to ask to train is an incredible leader. Wait, I need to get a bio quickly. Let me just get this up. So let me just find her. Got to get this right. All right. So, oh, minutes in WhatsApp. I have so many different WhatsApp. Okay, here we go. So, Regional Vice President to be National Vice President Jade Brimfield has been with Arbonne for 3.5 years. She's mummy to Chase and Campbell, who are 4 and 9 months. Well, Chase is 4, Campbell's 9 months, and loving life now being a full-time mom. Jade has earned all 3 AIT trips since starting and recently came second in top sponsoring award at AAC 2019. Her family is her absolute why, coupled with helping others create the life and happiness they desire, regardless of circumstance. Nice, like that. She and her incredible team are working towards the next goals, and they will absolutely be a new nation this 2020. So, Jade Brimfield, can you unmute my lovely, and the platform is yours.
Sure, thank you. And thank you so much for asking me to train. And there's going to be some things that I'm going to say that Fiona's touched on at the start, but I may just be saying it in a slightly different way that may just resonate with you at whatever point you are on in your journey. And it's important to really know that every single one of us is at different stages. So please just stop looking around and think about how does that relate to me and what is it that I can do. So there are a few shifts for me, really, in terms of going from area to region, and now, you know, going undoubtedly from region to nation. And some of those were like ones of business, intuition, and kind of involvement that heightened like my level of worthiness. They heightened my level of belief as to where I was going. And some were just shifts in terms of my personal development that in time obviously evolved and grew my business and the flow of that business that came through. So when I look back and I was looking for kind of shifts and what really stuck out to me, and there's a few points that I'm just going to touch on. So when I first joined Arbonne, I felt like everything had to be super hard. Like if I was going to be successful, it had to be hard. I was out every night. You know, Joe was so pissed off with me. I was out doing one-to-ones. I was out doing parties. I was like, everything took so much longer than what it really needed to, because I just created this sense that if I'm going to be successful, it has to be really hard. And all I was doing, I remember Fiona telling me, I was like pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And yes, I was getting there, but literally I was wading upstream. I was making everything feel super hard. And with that, I just couldn't really relax. I don't know if anyone can resonate, but I had this like lorry on my chest. I just, you know, I felt anxious all the time. And to be honest, I didn't really enjoy Arbonne that much. I enjoyed the idea of me getting to the promotion, but even then when I got to the promotion, I didn't really feel worthy of it. Everyone was telling me how amazing it was that I'd done it, but because it just felt hard, I felt worried that because it was hard, I was going to lose it. You know, can anyone kind of resonate with that? So that was me getting to area, push, push, push. And hang on, let me just read my notes, can't even talk. Yeah, so basically what I was doing was, so when I was be going out there and someone would cancel on me or someone would do this, I'd be like, oh, it's all going to fall apart and it's not going to happen for me, so I need to do more, Oh, I've asked someone to take a look at the business, but they've not replied yet, so I'm going to ask somebody else. And I was honestly I was doing this not too long ago, and Fiona said to me, she's like, you cannot ask and receive at the same time. So what I was doing was asking, not even allowing like anything to come to me, and just keep pushing and pushing. And ultimately, what I remember saying this to Kerry Wesley, I don't know if she's on, years ago. She'd been in the business longer than me, and I said, like, I just feel like my business is going to fall apart if I don't go out, like everything bad was going to happen. And to be honest, like I just would not even allow myself a quitting time. So if you're in that position now where you cannot be present in any moment, so you know, I was sitting with Joe and Campbell and I was constantly worried and feeling like, oh, Arbonne's not going to work, Arbonne's not going to work. And then when I was doing Arbonne, I felt immediately guilty that I wasn't spending time with my family. So one shift that I had to make in the point that I was going to region was I had to be super strict with my time. And by that, I don't just mean like you strict by allotting Arbonne time. In that Arbonne time, I was doing Arbonne. I was efficient. I knew what my task list was and I was cracking on with it. But then I also allowed myself that quitting time. So you know that you've done everything that you set out to do in that Arbonne time. So then when you are free and released, you can go and enjoy that time with your family. And the point is, you need to be present in any moment. If you are not feeling present in any moment, you are not allowing anything. The law of attraction is not working for you. So I highly recommend, if anyone is new, or if you have listened to it once, just listen to The Secret. It's a really good basic understanding that if you, the way you are feeling is what you're attracting. So you're not going to kind of create that movement in your business. Number two, really, and something that shifted for me, is that I really wanted to feel, just give me all the time, good about every situation, about every moment. And this really stems from personal development and daily tasks. So if you don't feel generally like good, you don't wake up feeling good, like Fiona says, your music's on, you're like pumping, ready to start the day, you're not happy, like, oh, you're happy, just ask yourself, like, am I actually a happy person? You're not feeling positive, and maybe your feelings are like anxious, like anxiety, you're worried, money worries, what's going to happen, is this a bad state, like you're not present or you're nervous about the outcome of, that definitely is not a state that you want to be in. And I can resonate because that was me. Now, really low stage, and you're either one of two people, you're thinking I'm victim mode and life is happening to me, like Fiona just said, or you know there's another choice and you can go and fix that. And for me, I went and basically, you shouldn't be starting this, you shouldn't be feeling this way. And there's a saying that goes around Instagram, and I understand that there's mental health issues with certain people in the world. There's a saying that says it's okay to not be okay. Well, there's sometimes that is the state, you know, that things happen, maybe bad circumstances, but to just tell yourself it's okay to not be okay all the time, I just don't feel that. Like, it's not okay, and you can change the way you feel. I went from someone very anxious, not really enjoying life, not being present, business wasn't flowing, to somebody that genuinely, I am so super positive, I am happy, I am so happy with my day. And this started before I got to Region, guys. Like, this was the transition too. So the way that you can do that, first of all, I went in and I wanted to self-heal myself. So I started with a book called The Magic. In fact, Laura Leggett bought it me, and it's just a really simple 30-day personal development process. If you're not really getting up and doing that, like personal development, you're not getting up and you're writing gratitudes, like a different gratitude for 30 days, 10 different ones, like that is the healing process for me. Like, I just started to feel like, actually, things are good in my life. And that's when you will have that shift, because when you're feeling like things are good, then more good things are going to come. That's the law of attraction, right? So the first thing is, if this is you, meditation, 100%, just find a simple guided one, and gratitude list is a must, because I just feel like that is just, for me, it just really just helps me every day feel so super positive. And then go and put some music on. So I also just want to talk about feeling good in every situation. One thing for me, and I don't know if anyone knows me, I worked a job until just before I went on maternity, and I was a Region, so I worked a job whilst building to Region. So if you're currently in that situation, you absolutely can do it. But if you're feeling really shitty about your employed role, and you can't build Arbonne because you're working this job, and this job's so shit, if only I didn't have to do Arbonne, sorry for swearing anyone, and then I could build, my Arbonne business would grow more. I absolutely can resonate with that. Everything was hard for me. I hated my job. It was not where I wanted to be. And yes, I did use it as fuel to build Arbonne. But the first thing I had to do was feel so grateful I had that job. Guys, like, now look at the situation. People may have lost their job or maybe out of work. I had a job, and that job was paying me to build my own Arbonne business. And as soon as I started to have some gratitude for that, gratitude for the income it was bringing me, gratitude for that income that was paying for food for my kids, things started to flow in that job, which made it release time for things to flow in Arbonne. So really feel good about that situation. The other thing that really shifted for me was looking around. Now, there's looking around at people in your network that maybe are not in Arbonne. And I did this often. I often compare myself to my sister and my dad in terms of relation of how much money or my success at what age. And why was I doing that? Because in any situation, their journey isn't my journey. And I don't mean it by time frame. The way they have built any success or any income is via a path that I've chosen not to take. So why would you compare yourself to anybody? That is not the case. Like, you cannot compare like for like. I'm just giving my other time. Oh my gosh. So please stop that. Feel grateful and feel really happy for those people. If you are coming from a place of jealousy and envy, it's a really low energy. And trust me, I've been there, and I had to really release that and write a million gratitudes around all of that and all the time. And now I'm so super happy and proud of those two people for what they've achieved, but it's not my journey. My journey is different, and I will get what I want, and it may even exceed that in a different time frame. The same thing applies to people in Arbonne. If you're looking sideways at what, it's so easy, like, look at me, I'm in a team of 8 regions. It's easy for me to compare myself to Jen, to Laura, to Carol, to Caroline. You know, I can look at what they're doing as leaders and compare myself and think, oh, I'm not a good leader, you know, I'm not doing what they're doing. Or even if you're comparing yourself to what others are doing on Instagram, so other sidelines that aren't part of the McCarthy and Wells nations, and you're not feeling positive by it, you're not feeling uplifted, you're feeling deflated, oh, things aren't going well, how are they doing so well? Stop looking there. You don't need to look sideways. Focus on your answers. You have all the answers inside of you, full stop. You can go and create what is you want. And I decided that, like, we've just mentioned about Carol, absolutely will be a nation, but it would be so unfair to me to compare myself to Carol. Her team's different to mine. My journey is different to mine. Our leadership skills are different. We are not the same. And I now feel so happy and thrilled for every success she has, because I know that it's going to soon be my success, and vice versa. I'm sure she feels the same for me. So do not feel jealous. People have different, if you're comparing yourself as well, I think people have different networks. People have different, you know, different ages, different work commitments, family commitments. They're not you. And, you know, if you're feeling like you don't have a great deal of influence on your network, just get excited that you can change that. That isn't like a given. That isn't like, oh, that's it, like full stop, I can't really be successful at Arbonne. You can change whatever that is. So you are what you attract. If you're feeling like not very confident, I couldn't do what you do, or, you know, nobody wants to buy off me, or who are you attracting into your team? Are you attracting the kind of personality that you are? And maybe think, do I need to switch it up? Do I need to change? Not change the person who you are, but improve, like change that initial soul of you into an improved version. And you can do that by, you know, just showing up as somebody that you admire. Like, dress up for the day, like you wear your makeup, like I always put my makeup on every day. How you speak, like how your belief is in the business, and also like showing up to trainings, saying yes to everything. If you have the opportunity to train, do it, because you will build confidence only by having the courage to do those things first. You have to have courage first before you have confidence. Don't wait for confidence to arrive, because that is not going to happen first. I am just going to be really, last point, because I always talk too much and I've got loads to say. But what I will say is personal, okay, so the biggest shift for me very quickly is full stop. I believe now I am a president. I believe it with my whole heart and soul. It is done already. And the reason why I believe that now is because I have shifted away from any comparison. I have got all the self-worth that I need. There's no, I'm looking at other regional vice presidents that started Arbonne before me that haven't yet gone nations, so it's not my turn. All the other regional vice presidents that are older than me, and I'm still a bit young, so I've got time. Like, there's none of that. I really believe it. And all I will say to you is that right now, you guys have been forced into a situation where you can feel what it feels like to be a regional vice president and a national vice president, an area manager. Like, what's your imagination that our lives are like? Working from home, being around our kids, getting up when we want, being in control of our day, like deciding to do workouts in the garden. You know, I know we're a little bit more stuck at home, but you can really feel that. I was on maternity leave from the job. I was like, this is my life now. I know I'm not going back to work. This is real. This is mine. I'm owning it. And that was the feeling of, there's no going back. I'm so in it. So now you have got a situation where you can start to feel it. National Vice President to be Nicola Bunker says, I'm loving it. I feel like, am I getting a taste for what Arbonne is going to be for me? So own that, believe it, and visualize what your perfect day is. I'm nearly done, sorry. Visualize what your perfect day is. Visualize it. Like, don't have to think about being in Maui or having the car if it's too far ahead. What is important to you? What would your perfect day be? Put on some music, shut your eyes, and feel like you could just cry. That makes you so happy. Even if it's just getting your kids from school, if that's what it means to you, that is the start of shifts of other stuff happening. Doesn't it feel lighter? It's not all on you, and that actually you just believe that your next you are so freaking excited. That is when law of attraction, the vibration is going to raise and your business will grow. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just believing it's happening, and I'm so excited about it, and I'm working consistently. Right, I've had so much more to say, but I'm going to pass over.
Love it, Nash. Look, she's got NVP Jade Brimfield across her screen. Make sure you change yours to what you want to be. Thank you so much, Jade. Love that. Love and light. And everything you said made so much sense. I think so many people resonated with that. So thank you so much. I just want to say something along the lines of, this is what your ENVP Fiona McCarthy does. You all can do this. I work by light. And when you said, I believe I'm going to be National Vice President, my candle, the light went out and the smoke went across, and I was like, oh, there's a sign. Anyway, so I'm going to light another candle. So that one was for Jade, this one is for Carol. And I actually love Lord Ganesh. So this is the Lord Ganesh here. He is the remover of obstacles. So if you're into your yogi, and my mom bought this from in India. It's like, you can see, like, it is elephants. So to me, that's Lord Ganesh. My candle goes in there. So I work every day when I'm sat in my front of my computer by candle. Maybe you want to do that too. Leading with love and light. Okay, it's all easy for all of you to do that. That's what I do. So with no further ado, thank you very much again, Jade. I'm going to pass on to our amazing National Vice President, which she's actually got an E already. So she's not, talk about wanting, you know, her plate and eat food and having it all. Carol Sutton-Alton. Why not? Why not? Because she will be. Okay, this is her bio, everybody. So, mom to 3 children who are 12, 7, and 6. The wife to Richard, started her business 4 years ago, didn't do much for the first year. Then she went from a team of 1 to a new region in 11 months. Okay, she's a 2 times Arizona Aires and Paradise Achiever, having been to Donna Johnson's house for tea. How lovely is that? She has been a main stage speaker at our UK conference last year. She's earned AIT Mexico and is, she's 2,000 QV away from earning her trip to the Bahamas for her family. She booked her flights 2 months ago. All right, so that's where you putting your money where your mouth is. Okay, so Carol, please unmute, my lovely, and we are so excited to hear from you.
Thank you, Jade. You're amazing, by the way. Loved it. Could have listened to you all night. And I heard Fiona say probably about a month ago, I only work with light, right? Just be coachable. I never work without light now. I've always got my candle on. So Fiona says work by light, get yourself a candle and light it. So, I don't know if we were asked to talk about the same thing, but I'm just going to do what you told me to do. So rewind back to when I first heard about Arbonne and I started my business. So this was kind of how my life was. Clara was 21 months old. If any of you have met Clara now, imagine her as a toddler, 50 times worse. Luca was 2.5 years old and Isabella was 7.5. Richard worked a shift pattern of 4 on, 4 off, and I had a full-time baby signing franchise that I used to run 12 classes a week. I was always on my own at the weekends. I was always on my own basically because Richard would work a lot of overtime because we needed the extra cash. So the only thing that changed for me running my Arbonne business was, and it was a bit easier then because the kids went to bed by about 7:30, 8 o'clock, was I started running my business online at home. So I've heard quite a few people recently say, how are you coping during the holidays? And I don't know how many times I've said, work during the night. If that's what you've got to do, that's what you've got to do. Like, how badly do you want this to work? Because everybody's busy. Just some people talk more about their lives than others. But what I'm trying to say is, if you want this to work, it can. So I kind of got the whole concept of Arbonne. I knew there was some trainings that we could watch. So I would get my phone out in the evenings and I'd start reading the online trainings, watching them, learning, but I really didn't do anything. I launched myself at my house with my sponsor watching me because she'd never done a party before. I printed out all the stuff that I found on the Do More page. I laminated it. I love a laminator. I had the worst red rash of my life talking to a lounge full of 12 people where one of them, in front of everybody, argued with me about whether network marketing was a pyramid scheme or not. So that was my first launch. I didn't sell a single product. But the day I started Arbonne, or the day I heard the Arbonne story, I knew in the pit of my stomach I would be a national vice president. I just knew this is what I was always meant to be. And so it didn't put me off. I just knew I had to get my head down and do the work. However, I still didn't really do the work for about 4 or 5 months until I watched everybody go to GTC. And I saw it all kind of going on Facebook. I started watching the trainings to the point where I was awake all night because it was US time. So I was watching all the lives, and then I was just working during the day and watching the lives, working during the day. And I just got to work and became a district manager as a team of 1. I wasn't telling anybody about the business because that was all about me. Like, how dare I share the business with someone? Because, you know, I want more money. I wanted the car. I wanted the extra cash. And it just seemed like a really selfish thing of me to do. So I didn't. I just talked about the products and I was really good at that. Until it got to about November time. At the end of October, beginning of November, and something changed inside me. I just read The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. So if you haven't read The Slight Edge, I highly recommend it. I think I've read it about 5 times now. Now, I've never done what Fiona did, which is read a chapter a day for a week. Was it a week or a month? Quite a lot of times. I read a book again and again and again, but I'm going to try the other technique now. So I read The Slight Edge about 4 or 5 times, and it changed everything. It changed me as a mum, it changed my friendships, it changed my marriage, it changed the way I looked at everything. And I just realized I had to make the decision to either go forward with my business or not. At the same time, I had Richard at home, who quite rightly was kind of saying, you know, and he's a really nice person. He was like, you're spending a lot of money and you're not earning anything. And I was just like, oh God, what am I going to do? And I went live in the Do More page and I said my affirmation live. I'm so happy and grateful for perfect health, unstoppable confidence, and a perfect, oh my gosh, I can't remember how many. I am so happy and grateful for perfect health, unstoppable confidence, and a constant abundance of time, money, and freedom in my life. I attract the right people, resources, and opportunities that will allow me, and I was doing this, to become an area manager by February 2016. And then I switched the live off. And then I did the affirmations 5 times a day. I was doing my tracker, I was in activity, and then along came Caroline Stalker, who was probably the hardest person I've ever prospected in my life, who said no about 80 times to the business, who then eventually said yes. And the whole time I had a knowing inside of me that she needed this. And there was no even part of my head that thought about the car or about the money or about national vice president. For the first time in my whole Arbonne career, it was all about how could I help Caroline see that she needed this. Like, my heart was just full for her. And by having that shift, it's like the universe changed. And I didn't really know about the universe back then. I was just going with it. Everything aligned. And all these people started coming to me. And so then what happened was we became a new area by February, and from February to the 6 months that we became a region, it was just consistent activity, just keeping an eye on the time, consistent activity, having a belief and a knowing that we would be a region. The month we went into Region Qual, I've never been so calm in my life. All we did was more. So my affirmations went to about 50 to 100 a day. I was reading the magic, the power, the secret, the slight edge again. But also every time I've promoted, I've upped my SoundCloud more than my reading. That really works for me. I need to hear belief from Arbonne, from people who've been there and made it a success. So go into SoundCloud and once a day, listen to a story of someone who has been where you want to be and made a success of it. We sailed into region qualification, and the 1st of October I went on my own to the Mercedes garage, and I chose my Mercedes and I put my £1,000 deposit down that I did not have, knowing I would go back in November with my children to pick up my car as a surprise. I've never been so certain in my life that that is what was happening. What else? Haven't even looked at my notes. When I became a regional vice president, I've got 2 minutes. It was amazing, but one thing a lot of people did not know was I didn't feel worthy of it. For about 6 months, I had the title, had the car, everyone was like, yeah! But inside of me, it didn't feel like I thought it was going to feel. I didn't feel worthy of the title. And this all came out when I was ordering my car registration. I kept saying, should I get MVP or RVP? You know, why didn't I get MVP? Like, I could have just got MVP because that's where we're going, but I didn't. I chose RVP. And why that happened, I just don't know. But the reason I share that is because I want people to know, even as VPs, we have the biggest chimps sometimes, that we have to get over ourselves. No one's coming to save you. So I had to get down, do more work, read more books. And the difference between going region and going nation is I've got my nation number plate already. Just needs to be put on the car. I've never felt more worthy of driving around with C4 for 4 wide MVP. So I don't know what the shift has been apart from one pinnacle moment, which was Mexico. I never thought AIT, it's just a holiday, would do to my belief what it did. It's just a holiday in my eyes. But going to Mexico and being surrounded by so many normal people, some actually barking mad, who are about 4 wide EMVPs, even coming at the airport, Jade, do you remember? Like, we were buzzing, the kids were so tired, it was 25 degrees. There was this quite larger lady with her hair quite messy, and I just started chatting to her. And then when we got on the bus, Jade was like, she's like, that's 4 wide such and such. I was just blown away how normal people are. And my children, they still go on about the holiday, and it's not where we went or where we were, it's the people they were surrounded with, and my children have told me that's how they want to spend the rest of their lives, with Arbonne community and with Arbonne people. And I just thought, you know, I owe it now to my family to give them that life that they deserve. It's down to me. It's not about first class. It's not about limousines. It's not about that. They deserve to be around incredible people. One last thing on the way back from Mexico, outside the toilet was Emma Sangster with her 2 boys. And I said to her, oh, have you been in first? And she was like, no, it was fully booked. We've had to go premium economy. And I was like, oh, are you all right? She was like, yeah, it's like, it's quite cold, but it's okay. And I sat down, me and Jade have had this conversation. I was like, why not us? Why not us? So we booked premium economy, not first class. God, they don't know. On the way to Mexico and on the way back, because we deserve it. We deserve it. Got 1 minute. I haven't said half the stuff I want to say. Lisa D, who has become a brand new national vice president, said something that really stuck with me. When she started her business, her aim was to be a national vice president. So in her first month, someone said, do 10,000. She did the activity and did 10,000 QV. The second month, she said, what do I need to do now? She was told to do 30,000. So she did 30,000. The 4th month, she said, what do I do now? They said, go region qual. So she went and sailed into region qualification. and from beginning to nation was 11 months, and the only thing was her belief. So please, please, is any advice, just do what you have to do to get over any blocks, to know that you are so worthy of whatever it is that you started Arbonne for. You can all do this. There are people in AIT, not like top income earners, who you would never ever know that that's who they were. So I hope you found it helpful.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Carol. That was amazing. You rocked it out. And look all your comments below for both you and Jade. It was just like the best people to end this mindset shift call on, because you guys are shifting. You have shifted. You continue to shift. This is work in progress, and you continue, guys, to rise. Okay. And like when Carol said, why not you? Why not you? Nobody's better. That's the whole point, right? We are all the same. We all connected to that conscious, subconscious, super conscious. We are all plugged into that. And that's how we can all help one another. And we do. And I thank you for helping everyone on this call tonight. You guys absolutely rocked. So with no further ado, we've come to an end. And I know Jennifer's taking over the Nation Trading. She looks amazing. And I didn't even know your registration was C4 NVP. Mine's G4 NVP. How incredible is that? Did you know that? Love it. Love it. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night, and can't wait to hear Jennifer train now. Mwah! Lots of love. Take care. Bye-bye.